my name is Tamara Chambers, and this is Tamara Just Saw. And today, I didn't want to comb out my hair, so I'm wearing a wig. And I saw Annihilation! Wendy, could you not ruin everything? No? Okay. I love sci-fi so much, and I grew up with sci-fi. I grew up with Star Trek and Star Wars and bad sci-fi films on the Sci-Fi Channel that I can't even remember the names to. I have been looking forward to this film for a while. I didn't read the books, and like most civilized people, the worst people, I like to read the books before I see the films. For this, I did not, and I was feeling like a little weird about that, but honestly, I'm so glad I went into this knowing nothing and surprised that even going into it knowing nothing, it delivered so well on so many levels, especially story-wise. It was so good. I'm not gonna give major spoilers for the end of the movie, but I am going to give light spoilers, so just beware of that. I just don't feel like I can fully talk about the film unless I give a little bit away. The story is about Natalie Portman's character, who is a biologist, and her husband, Oscar, what's his name? Oscar Isaac, who is a soldier of some kind, and he goes into what is called the Shimmer. One day he shows up after presumably being dead for about a year, and she goes looking for answers after he becomes extremely ill. She finds out about the Shimmer. She goes into it because she herself is a very smart and well-known biologist and soldier, which is amazing. She's such a badass. And then she finds out what is happening in the Shimmer, kind of. There's a lot happening in the Shimmer, let me tell you. There's a lot of play with different times in the film. You go from the future at the very open, and you kind of slice in between the future and the present and the past throughout the film, which I always really enjoy if they're clear and concise with it, which they totally are in this. You just spend the entire time watching this film filled with questions, which is so exciting. So you don't, I never felt like, I never can call anything in a film. I never know what's going to happen. But I never in this film was like, oh, this is obviously gonna happen. Like, it was very suspenseful and very mysterious, which was super fun. It's got this really high budget feel, which is kind of weird for sci-fi, honestly, the sci-fi I'm used to. But it feels like it's like, damn, this is sci-fi. Like, the root of it feels very sci-fi, very fun, like very much what I wanted to see. And it's like, we started at Trog sci-fi and now we're here. Damn, it's an exciting time to be alive. The cast is also incredible. I'm always such a fan of Natalie Portman. She's been a part of some things that I really loved. I loved Black Swan. I loved her in the Star Wars prequels. I know that they're terrible. They hold a special place in my heart just because I saw them at a young age, and I loved her in them. I think she's wonderful. I just always find her so truthful. She's very raw in what she does whenever she's given a crying scene, which she usually is, because she's really good at crying in films. It seems like she's really crying. She seems real. She's a good actress. And so she had a few in this, and they were all phenomenal. I did hear that in the second book, the character that she's playing is Asian. I guess this film is based off of the first book, and in the first book, they don't talk about race at all for the characters, which is okay, all right, fine, loophole. There's no Asian women in film, though, so it's kind of a bummer that it didn't go to who it should have gone to, but I do really think that Natalie is incredible, and I love her. She did an interview about that subject, and it was really nice. So, find that if you can, if you're interested. Tessa Thompson is also in this, and I love her. I recently just saw her in Thor Ragnarok, and she was amazing. She just continuously is doing great things. She was wonderful in this. My only gripe really with the film at all is that I really wish that the side characters, the women that she goes into the Shimmer with, got to be developed a bit more. You get to really know her and her husband and their characters, and you feel for them. You feel a little less for the characters that go into the Shimmer with her, the 4 other women. And I really wish you got to know them. I feel that in the book, I'm sure you did get to know them. It's a really cool thing. The film is like all women. It's awesome. I really, really enjoyed that. Like, scientist women, like smart-ass women. Like, that's cool as hell. But I wish you got to know them a little bit better. If I knew more about Tessa Thompson's character, I think that would have been cooler. And then, spoiler, when they pass away, when they die, you would feel more for that too. I feel like that was a little bit of a missed opportunity. I don't know what they would have done to make that better. I don't know anything. But I feel like that could have been improved upon a bit. A lot of scary things happen when they enter the Shimmer. The Shimmer is, if you haven't seen the trailer, you don't know what it is. The Shimmer is like this crazy kind of force field, it seems, around this kind of just patch of earth. And you walk into it, and a lot of crazy things were happening within it. A lot of mutations with plants and animals, a lot of lost time, which was, I think, for me, the scariest part. There's a moment where when they first enter, they lose a lot of time. And that's such a scary thing, to wake up disoriented and then to be like, I've been out for days. That's a scary thing. And then once they're inside, it's a group of 5 women, and they're faced with a lot of trials to get to the lighthouse, which is where the Shimmer initially started, and started growing from there. I wrote, this is one of the most compelling stories I've seen in such a long time. I feel like the marketing for this could have been so much better. I feel like Pacific Rim 2 is getting so much more marketing, and maybe it's just my personal preference, but I don't care at all about Pacific Rim 2, and I care so much about this. The first time I saw this trailer, I was like super engaged immediately, and I didn't see another trailer until like yesterday, right before it came out today, and so that didn't make a ton of sense to me. There's also a lot of science that you hear, like these are all scientists who go into the Shimmer, and they're saying a lot of scientific terms, and you're like, I don't know if that's real, it probably isn't, it's a sci-fi film, but I love when movies do that and you believe it, or you like suspend your disbelief for a while because it's not like unbelievable. It's not out of the realm of belief. It's not like a Sharknado. It's like they're saying things and you're like, probably in real life not real, but like I super believe it here. That's how I felt in The Martian when is that Matt Damon? Is that who that is? Whoever that is. I really believed all of the things he was doing in space. I really believed that he was growing plants in space and making fertilizer in space. I really believed it. And it wasn't true, and it wasn't real, but I believed it. And I love when movies can do that. The Martian, Matt Damon. Good job, Tamara. You know who people are. So at the end, everyone who she went in with are not with her anymore. And she walks into the lighthouse, which she's made it to, and she leaves her backpack. This is the other thing that really bothered me. She leaves her backpack before going in. And I know she's probably thinking, like, I'm probably just not gonna make it out of this lighthouse, and like, I don't need this extra 30 pounds of weight to weigh me down, but that just really bothered me. You're not gonna bring all of your supplies. Like, what if you have another like lapse in time and then you have no food? Like, what? Don't do that. Don't leave your things. That always bothers me when people don't have supplies. Like, that's such an easy thing. You already had them. Why let them go? The whole time I was super engaged, and there wasn't any point that disappointed me, though the end is very indescribable. Like, I feel like even if I really wanted to hard spoil it, I couldn't, because it's very odd. And it set up a second film, which is exciting, because I definitely wanted more from it. And I don't feel like I left it feeling like gypped, like they didn't finish it out well, but I do feel like there's so much more to tell, and I want to know it. I want to read the books so badly. I feel like I would get so much more out of them. I love when you see a movie, it's so good, but you still feel like the books would give you even more detail and information. Yep. I would absolutely recommend seeing this film. And also seeing it in theater is so impactful. I was recently showing a bunch of people the Hereditary trailer, which I think is so good. And I had seen it for the first time in theaters. And then I was like just really talking it up to friends. And then I showed them, and we watched it on a small computer monitor. And I was like, oh, it wasn't as scary or cool and impactful as it was when I saw it in theater. I still think it looks good, but not nearly as good. This is one of those films where it's like, yeah, this is like, it's impactful, and I think that the big screen really does that for you. I had such a good time with it. Natalie gives another amazing performance, and I continue to love her. And I love the mostly female cast, and I love that they're breaking a lot of stereotypes in this, and I love that it's just really good eerie sci-fi. I think that's super cool. I'm all for it. I also can't wait to talk about the Oscars, and I'm gonna give my picks for the Oscars coming up in a few weeks. So keep watching. Thank you so much for tuning in this week, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye.